All right, so the last video I think got cut off right there at the very end. I was doing rollouts. So the rollouts are here, kind of in this position, keeping everything straight. And then the second one out of that series is going to be the stirs. So where I get out and do some stirs, 10 here and 10 back the other way, with the ball, keeping everything with my weight out over that ball, so really engage the core, get a lot stronger right through that center area. The last thing in that series that we did was the wrist series. So with the wrist series, we're going to do grab a light weight, maybe a 5-pound or 7-pound, work on some what we call pronation, supination. Hinging, which is like ulnar radial deviation is what we call that, where you're hinging the wrist right there, up and down, kind of casting motion. And then doing some extension of the wrist and some flexion of the wrist that way. Okay, so we do sets of 10 and kind of go through that in each one of those. And those are the last ones on that A side video that got cut off right there at the end. Something happened to a glitch on the camera. So I'll go ahead and go show you through the B side workout. The first thing is in the activation series, it says step to an open stretch. Okay, so what I'll do here is I can do this with my dowel rod a little bit if I want to. But if I step to an open stretch, I would maybe step over this way from here and then open up this way. So I'm opposite. Now again, I don't have to have the dowel rod. I can just step over here from my hands and open up. The idea with this is I get my weight going left, but then I open up my trunk back to the right. So we call these kind of like three-dimensional stretches. So we have some hinge, lateral, and rotation. So you're working in 3 planes. So I'm hinged, laterally stepping, and rotating back this way. And that's a open step stretch. Now, I do that one with a band as a more advanced way. So if I step on the band this way, I'll go ahead and step over here and open up like that, which is nice. Step over here, open up there. And these are Superflex bands. I really like these. How I get some core integration, open up right there and pause. Come back here and pause right there. So that's a nice thing that I'm going to try to give you information on that to add in are some of these what we call Superflex fitness bands. Next one says to do a back step to an overhead reach. So what this is, same thing with my band I can use. If I step on the band, I go into a back step, I reach up overhead, and I can add a little bit of twist. Come back down. I can do this with just a dowel rod, or if I want to add the band, obviously that's going to be even harder, right? But I'll go through here, rotate, come back. That's my right side. Then obviously I'll switch. Left side, left foot on, right foot back. Nice turn, pause, come back. You want to work on this separation stuff where you get your body set here, but you're creating some turn, some ability to turn against a fixed lower body, just so you have that range of motion reserve to be able to be stable with your positions. Next up says lateral lunge to a cross reach. This is kind of like that cross punch. Now, what we do is a drill where I kind of reach under my hand here, so I have tilt, okay? So from here to there, back here to there. With the band, I can loop this off somewhere like that. And what I would do is I'll step here. If I step to the right, I reach like that. So from here to there. Absolutely love this drill because I'm working on some lateral movement, some side tilt, and some reach. And the feel of that too is that I have a closed shoulder, not an overly open shoulder, and reaching through in that position. Set up, move lateral, this hand is out, and I reach through and hold that position. 1, 2, come back. Right there. All right, so I'm really getting that feel of working under and working here in these tilts and getting stable through there. So these are nice activations. The last one in there, it says to do a bridge with reach. So we're going back into another type of a reach variation drill with a pattern for reaching. And so with this one, I'm going to do a bridge like here, and then I'm going to reach up and reach over to the right and come back down. Bridge up, reach over to the left, come back down to straight. Up, over to the right. I don't have to necessarily touch the floor. I'm just reaching back towards the floor. Hold it. Come back. Lift up, over, and come back and down right there. So that drill is trying to get some hip extension plus a reach pattern. So I get extension through my spine from that way. Reaching back, reaching back. Very functional, very three-dimensional as we try to reach back, get extension, rotation, tilting, bring it all together. A great way to do activation. Again, this on this B side is after you've warmed up a little with treadmill, elliptical bike, whatever, done a little bit of foam roll or some specific stretch off of the mobility, basic warm-up mobility, stick work. Then you go into this activation, then mobility, stability, then strength B. Okay? So mobility, stability for B, first one is a reach back. So that's from here. We're going to do an opposite. So it's this left leg, right elbow comes down towards left knee, and then everything opens up. So I'm here. So you can see that leg. It's kind of like this. Notice my back doesn't overextend. I just go to straight. Right there. So that's that pattern. The second one is a alternating arm and leg. So opposite arm and leg reach. So I'm in this position going out forward, and then here, and then here. Opposites. Okay? In more advanced ways, I can show you how we can loop the superflex band off and get some more resistance to that. Next, says sideline hip lifts. So this is like a side plank where I lift my hips up. So I'm set in this position here. I can do it from bent knee and hold for 10 seconds, or I can do it side hip lift from regular plank, come back down. At least 5 up to 10-second holds are really good to keep everything straight, and come back down and work through that. Next says to do a long sit-up with rotation. So this one, I like to either use my dowel rod or a med ball to help kind of with some weight overhead. And what I would do here is I'm going to do a long sit-up, which is where I kind of sit all the way up here, add a slow turn, right and left, peel back down, come back up, turn, turn, peel back down. Okay? Those are long sit-ups with rotation. And then the last one says plank scap ups. That's from plank position doing some shoulder blade work here to get a little bit from here. So I can do these from push-up position. It's a little bit of load to my wrist. I don't like that. I like to use push-up grips when I do push-ups, not directly to the floor. But if I go from plank, I'm basically going to be doing kind of a little drop down and back up. Right there. So that drill is going to get me what's called a plank scap up, and that's going to put me into some shoulder blade retraction, protraction, moving in and out with my shoulder blade, which is pretty important in golf, the way that your shoulder blades will interact with your trunk. Okay. So next up, we go to the strength side for B. So we'll get through this, show you all these. First one says a single leg RDL with a medicine ball or a plate twist. So let's say I took a plate. This is a 25-pound plate. A single leg RDL is a hinge drill like this. And then what I do is I add a little twist, and then I come back. So from the side, you can see what I do here. Come back up tall. So I'm not flexing out my spine. I'm hinging at my hip. Weight is here. I'm forward bent. A little bit of twist, not far. Hold. Come back together. Really good stability drill. I can do this with just the dowel rod. I can do it with a dumbbell, kettlebell, plate, some sort of a load. I'm going to do about 8 on each side. Next up in that series, it says to do an open step to a dumbbell rotational press. Okay, sounds complicated, it's not. The idea is, if I have some dumbbells set here with my shoulders, what I'm going to do is an open step, and I'm going to press here and press. The idea is I'm getting my hips to open first, my trunk comes around, and I go overhead. So I'm picking a weight that I can press overhead. So obviously I want to be careful with my shoulders, any shoulder issues, things like that. But keep that weight in front. Don't let the weight get behind me like this. Keep it in front, press. The weights are here, open, opposite press. Left open, right press. And that's an open step rotational press. A seated cable rotation. So basically, what I'll do here is I'll show you with the band, but again, off of a cable machine, same exact thing. Seated, if I'm at home and I have physio ball or travel, works really good. You get a little extra stability there. You kind of have to fight for that neutral, which is nice. You can also just sit on the edge of a bench. You can also kneel. You can also just squat a little bit to do this rotation. But the idea is that I'm going to get a trunk rotation, hands and trunk turning together. And of course I'm going to do right to left, left to right, about 8 to 10 reps. Keep everything tall through your spine as you're rotating over. Okay, really good to get some core interaction. The load of the weight is not got to be super heavy. It's enough to challenge you to feel like you're getting off balance, but not enough to throw you over. Not enough where you feel like you have to, dive forward or pitch. You have to be able to stay straight. If you can control load out here with your hands in your core, like this way, and this connected and not caving and not falling, you can swing a golf club pretty fast. All right. So the next one says fly together to pull around. So it sounds complicated again. But the basic idea with this one is that if I have a band set up here and I'm doing a fly, flies are like kind of where I'm behind you this way, okay? What I do here is I set up here with one hand already out. I'll get in split stance here from this position. I'm gonna press together and then rotate. Right arm, press, rotate. This stays. Press, rotate. The idea here is that I get some press against a fixed side. My shoulders a little bit closed or square, that everything's together, and then everything comes together and rotates and holds right there. Obviously, I'm going to switch. Do this side. Press, rotate, press, rotate, and around. So, can I use a cable machine? Yes. Can I use bands? Excellent. I love the bands. A lot of instability. They're pulling you around a bit. You have to fight against it with your core. You're in this split stance. You're getting a lot of balance reactions and a lot of core reactions. Really functional for golf because you're working in multiple planes. You're not just doing a seated bench press, which is very just one-dimensional strength. All right. Banded 3 press. It's called a pow-off. These are press outs. Okay. So this one is where I'm facing it sideways on a cable system or a band. Again, a little bit of squat position. I'm going to press in 3 positions. The first one is off my knee. The second one, right about my belly button. The third one, about chest height. back down, knee, belly button, chest, back down, knee, which is like impact, right? Belly, chest. You alternate between those and then you switch to the other side and do the other side. Next up says a lateral lunge to a V raise, okay? So what this is, a V raise can be done with dumbbells, where I take 2 dumbbells, and I'm gonna raise, I call it a V raise because we'll do both sides. We're gonna raise like this and like this. But if I do a lateral lunge over here to my right side, I'm gonna raise these weights off my right knee. Come back together. Left step. Off the left knee. Come back together. Right step. Turn a little off the right knee. Come back together. Notice when I do this, I'm staying in a little hinge, raising up. Can I use a really heavy weight with this? No. I have to throw my back. I have to be able to control this load. Keep everything together and control. Step laterally in here. Got some weight on my left. Raise up some weight or a plate or a kettlebell or a medicine ball up over that side. All right, now, the last one on this, it says to do the grip series. So with the grip series, you have some options here. You can utilize grip trainers, like a grip training bar, which you squeeze, okay? A wrist roller, which is one where you have the, I didn't bring mine in here, where you have the weight on the bottom and you roll it all the way up, overhand and underhand, okay? Those are 2 great options for wrist, for grip strength, kind of forearm development there. The other thing you can use is you can just get some tennis balls or stress balls or kind of putty balls and work on just squeezing them right out here. And you just train with that. You can use grip trainers like squeezing. You're going to do a couple sets of 10 to 12 as you do this to build up grip strength, okay? And that's the last one. So that's the last one on your strength side for B. And then after this, the last steps are all integrative work that we utilize with medicine ball for the segmental speed and the integrated speed, and we'll send that in separate videos. But let's get started on this A side workout one day, this B side workout another day, and get started on these progressions for getting just basic functional golf strength that we can transfer into some integrated work.